My name is Morgan Talley, and if you're hearing this, something went wrong. Eli, sweetheart, I love you. I've always loved you. If you're watching this, I'm sorry. I tried to make it back, I really did. But something's happened up here, and I don't think I'm going to get another chance to say what I need to say. I want you to stop this now. Don't watch the rest. I mean it. If this ever shows up on the news, turn it off. If someone gives you a copy, burn it. Just remember me the way I was, the way we were. Remember when we went hiking in the redwoods that summer before we got engaged? Remember how the fog hung low, and you said it felt like being inside a dream? That's what I want you to hold on to, that laughter in the dark. Sam, my brave boy, be strong for Dad, okay? Your mama's not going to be there the way I should be, but he needs you now more than ever. I'm sorry, baby. I hope someday you get to see these mountains the way I did, peaceful and grand. Not like this. Maybe this will all turn out to be a big mistake. Maybe you'll get this video with me laughing at the end, talking about the cold and the wind and how we chickened out and came back early. That'd be nice, but I don't think that's how this story ends. I love you, both of you, forever. Ridgeline Ridge stretches along the Pacific Northwest interior like the spine of some forgotten colossus, rising up where the trees thin and the snow lingers long into spring. Officially, it's called Mount Olin, named for some trapper nobody remembers. But the locals just call it the Ridge. It wasn't supposed to be a dangerous hike. Morgan Talley, along with her colleagues Rena and Dean Holloway, had made the trip partly for research and partly to reconnect. All three were faculty at Cascade University. Rena and Dean were folklorists. Morgan, a cultural anthropologist, recently returned from leave after her son's surgery. The plan was to document oral histories connected to indigenous tales of the Silent Ones, being said to walk the high places after the last snows. The trio arrived on November 9th, 2018. The access gate was technically closed for the season, but Dean had a key through the park's service for academic work. They left their vehicle at the forestry station and began hiking at dawn. The first segment of the trail was uneventful. They crossed lowland streams iced at the edges, passed through rows of Douglas fir climbing toward the ridgeline. Around midday, they stopped to record a video segment with Rena joking about the haunted woods and Morgan panning the camera to show the glistening frost on the trail. Everything seemed fine. By 2:30 p.m., the snow began, just light flurries at first, then heavier, then sideways. Weather reports later confirmed an Arctic air mass pushing down from British Columbia, colliding with the Pacific system. But the hikers wouldn't have known any of that. No cell signal, no radios. Only their eyes, watching as the forest slowly turned to a white wall. At first, they tried to keep going. The trail disappeared under fresh powder, and Rena started to worry they'd passed the fork, leading to a primitive shelter mapped in the early 2000s. That's when Morgan began filming more deliberately, documenting their conditions. In one clip, she whispers to the camera, "I don't think we should keep going. The storm's too fast. We might have already missed the trailhead." Dean insisted they weren't far from the shelter. Rena hesitated but followed. Morgan reluctantly agreed. What happened next, the camera captured in strange fragments. They never found the shelter. Instead, they settled for a depression in the land below, a granite outcrop, setting up an emergency bivvy. By 5:30 p.m., it was almost full dark. They had a thermal blanket, a small emergency stove, and each other's body heat. The camera remained off until 8:17 p.m. when Morgan turned it on again, visibly shaken. The screen flickers. In night vision, you can see Rena sleeping. Dean's crouched at the perimeter, peering into the trees. And behind him, just barely, you catch movement. 4 limbs, bent wrong, slinking low. Morgan gasps, but says nothing. She zooms in. The creature pauses. Its head, or what passes for one, turns, though not in a way that suggests it sees them. Its skin looks slick, colorless in the infrared, like something between deer hide and old stone. Then, it slides sideways and is gone. Dean returns. He hasn't seen it. Morgan whispers, "Something's out there." He doesn't believe her. They don't sleep. Around midnight, the creature returns. This time, it doesn't stay at the tree line. It comes closer. Morgan films from inside the bivvy, holding her breath. The thing moves without sound. Its limbs adjust with subtle snaps like a mantis. It passes within 20 feet of the shelter and then stops. It doesn't look. It listens. Dean clutches a hiking pole like a spear. He mouths, "Don't move." The camera picks up a low-frequency rumble. Audio experts later described it as infrasound, just below the range of human hearing, but powerful enough to cause physical distress. Morgan's breathing gets erratic. Rena begins to quietly sob. Then it's gone again, into the white noise of the blizzard. By morning, Dean is missing. There's no sign of a struggle, just a single set of prints leading into the trees. Morgan follows them with the camera for a short distance until they stop abruptly at a stream that's now frozen over. No exit trail, just blank snow. The infrasound continues, faint but constant. It's clear the creature is still nearby. Rena breaks down. She wants to run. Morgan convinces her to wait. "One more night," she says. "Then they'll make a break for the trailhead at dawn." That night, the camera catches Rena recording her own message. She doesn't finish. A snapping sound cuts her off. Morgan rushes out of the shelter. In the distance, a shape looms, taller now, upright, not fully human, not fully anything. It seems to watch without eyes, sensing movement or thought or fear. Its arms hang long, dragging. Its skin breathes like something still wet from birth. Rena is gone. The next clip is static. The last sequence on the footage shows Morgan, alone, setting up a crude spear from a fallen branch and duct tape. Her voice is calm but hoarse. Her hands shake. She props the camera on a log and begins the message to her family. Then, after a moment, she stands, shoulders her pack, and walks off screen. The camera rolls for another 3 hours before the battery dies. Morgan Talley's remains were never found. A search party located the campsite 2 days later. The camera was recovered in working condition. Experts verified the footage as authentic. The Park Service issued a brief statement blaming exposure and poor planning. Unofficially, the case became known as the Ridgeline Ridge incident. Locals say the creature is part of something older than myth, a remnant, a sentry, not malevolent, just beyond us. No further expeditions have been made into that section of the ridge since. The silent ones, as the stories go, are still up there, watching, waiting,